Good morning, and thank you for joining us for another edition of Coffee with Tom and Joanne. I'm Joanne Toronto.
And I'm Tom Matthews, and welcome today. Today, Joanne and I are talking about home sellers, so people that own a home who want to move up into another home, and the process of preparing your home ahead of time so that when you find the right property, you're ready to go. So Joanne, what's one of the first things that these buyers / sellers should be doing?
So what you need to think about is the most important piece is your strategy, right? So what is your exit strategy out of your existing home, and what is your ideal entrance strategy into the new home? So I would start with the first piece of discovery being, can you buy without selling? So figuring out whether or not you can qualify, not that anybody wants to be carrying two mortgages for any extended period of time, but the discovery of finding out whether or not you qualify to purchase without selling your existing home can really take a lot of tension off of this process and make it a lot smoother. Where we are in a strong market right now for sellers, it's really, the purchasing side of this is going to be the harder part of the transaction. So ideally, finding out if you can buy without selling is really where you would start. And Tom, how would people do that?
So you would go to call your banker up and talk to them about the equity position you have in your home. They'll look at your debt to income ratio, just like you would with a normal mortgage. But what's wonderful for people in this position is you can leverage the equity in your home by getting a home equity line of credit, and you can have access to capital. And you might say, well, I don't want to be leveraged to the hilt. But the reality is that money will be paid off when you sell your home. So it gives you access. So say, like, hypothetically, your home is worth $700,000 and you owe $400,000. That's a kind of common theme. There's $100,000 of equity that you could have access to, and that could go towards your down payment of your new home, which would allow, or what you could do is, if you have the cash saved to buy the new home, you could use the home equity as to pay for the payments of carrying both properties while you're waiting. Because your house, once you put your house on the market, it's going to take, in this market, a week to sell, but then it's going to take, 30 to 60 days to close. So right. For those 2 months, you could be paying mortgage payments and so forth.
Right. And the important thing to know about a home equity line of credit is that it doesn't cost you anything until you use it. And then the payments on it are actually just interest only payments. Yeah. So in order to carry that line of credit, beyond, just a few weeks, we're talking about hundreds of dollars, not thousands of dollars. And it's a great way to bridge the gap. Yeah. Another option for people could be a bridge loan. It's a little bit less popular, costs some money to put in place, but also allows you to be a much stronger buyer with your financing already in place. So talking to your banker is really, really important. And another aspect to think about is leveraging, your network. So do you have friends, family, somebody close to you that might be able to work with you, not necessarily in an informal capacity? You could sign some paperwork with them, but can they loan you some money to bridge the gap for, 60 or 90 days? Or can they just, backstop you financially? Maybe there is a grandparent who can do something, or a parent who has some type of liquidity that could help make you a stronger buyer, or make the finances easier to pallet while you're going through the process of purchasing and then selling your existing property. So I would say that's the most important thing, is to come up with a financial strategy first. And then, Tom, what do you think comes after that?
I think the next thing is just preparing your home 6 to 12 months ahead of that move, so that you don't have that additional stress. Right now it's really hard to find contractors and so forth. And so now would be the time, if you're thinking a move 6 to 12 months down the road, now would be the time to start painting walls, finishing floors, doing those projects that you've been thinking about, and that, as you're going out looking at properties, you're like, oh man, look at how clean these walls are. Look at how clean these floors are. How
And
much of an impact that
decluttering,
means.
right? And decluttering,
And
right?
decluttering. And then, like the third level of this is, as you're getting closer, is Joanne and I, one of our processes is that we'll come in, do photos, floor plan, 3D tours, and get all the marketing and the draft MLS ready. So that when you find a house, once you get an accepted offer, rather than there being a 1, 2, 3 week delta, it's a 24 to 48 hour delta where your house can be on the market. So although the sales aren't contingent, you are able to boom, boom, buy, sell, and have as little overlap as possible.
Yeah, I mean, and that can give you peace of mind. Let's not forget about how important peace of mind is and being able to sleep at night. This is a high stress time in life when you're buying and selling real estate. And what we try to do is put people in a position of power where they can take control of their situation, be in the driver's seat, and say, we have done everything that we can to be prepared for the market and ready to go. And you don't have to, live in a show ready house, but, have in mind what it's going to take to get back to the condition it was in the day we took the photos.
Exactly.
And sometimes that's, 6 months ago, sometimes it's a year ago that we took the pictures. And, what we want to do is have everything ready for you and approved, so that all we need to do is post the listing and get you up and running with your strategy for entry into the market, while we're simultaneously working on getting a purchase and sale on the acquisition property.
Exactly. So if you want to learn more about your specific situation, feel free to contact us. We can be reached at info@tomandjoanneteam.com. So thank you for listening to Coffee with Tom and Joanne. I'm Tom Matthews.
And I'm Joanne Toronto. Cheers.